Thank you so much, George. We're here with Chef Joey up at Jay Peak. You grew up going to Jay Peak, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I moved to Montgomery with my family from Connecticut in 1980 and was skiing Jay Peak on Fridays through the Montgomery Elementary School program. So
That's
it's
great.
pretty wild how things come full circle for sure.
And now you're up there running the show.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
All right, you got this kind of strange recipe, a little bit of a Texas swing, but
It's
using
interesting,
maple,
isn't
which
it?
is cool. So this will be a lot of fun.
North meets south, we could say, right?
Yep.
I guess. Chicken thighs, my favorite, skinless chicken thighs. Basically, you can buy them in the store. They're cheaper than buying a chicken breast.
And they actually have flavor, too.
They actually do have
Yeah.
quite a bit of flavor because they leave a little fat attached to those chicken thighs, which adds quite a bit of flavor. So boneless chicken thighs, any supermarket has them. This package is a 2.5-pound package for, $3. So there you have it. And I have some that are partially cooked here. And we're going to actually just heat this pan up and finish searing these.
Okay.
I also have.
And so did you roast these off, or how did
I actually
you
pan seared
Okay.
them, got
Okay.
them ready to go, and then we're going to finish them off here so that, it's chicken cooked all the way through. We want to make sure it's cooked all the way through. We have actually some kale here, 2 different varieties of kale, just curly kale, French kale I call it, probably from my background, New England Culinary Institute grad that I am. Fancy kale. And basically we're just going to add the kale dry right to that saucepan there. So
Okay.
we're going to chop it up. We're going to chiffon out a little bit while that other pan's heating up. It's going to take about 3 or 4 minutes to finish off those chicken breasts. Now, kale's really popular right now.
People love kale.
It's like the vegetable of the year, I think. Chips are great and soups are great, but the smaller that you cut it,
Yeah.
the easier it is to cook it.
Yeah, and especially
Okay?
this is smaller, and
Right.
it's got as it gets bigger, the ribs get bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this chicken has kind of what I call a magic rub, and it's a peri spice, which is...
You got to explain what peri is to me, because we talked about it, and I'm like...
What is peri spice?
Yeah.
It's actually a chili pepper, peri pepper.
Okay.
And it's, African descent and also very popular in Portugal. Has this sort of slow burning flavor
which
that happens.
I love that slow
Instead of
burn.
something that just kicks you in the mouth, it has
Yeah.
kind of a slow. So for me, when I'm at home, I use mason jars. Obviously, I think you can see that all the time. And when I sear the chicken, I use this olive oil, which happens to be from Texas. Kind of interesting. But I use mason jars to build these rubs and shake them up. So there's a little peri spice in here and a little bit of sugar in here.
Okay.
Okay, and we can actually, we can add a little more to this backside of the chicken.
Yeah, we should
right
definitely
now.
put on some more heat.
Yep. There you go. So, we're looking for 5 tastes, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking for sweet, sour, salty, bitter,
Yeah.
the umami piece of this. So every time I cook something, I always think about one bite, all the components on the plate, all the components on the fork.
Yeah.
And if you can get all 5 tastes, then you're going to be successful as a cook for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the sweet. We got the spice a little
I
bit.
like
we
it.
got the
I like it.
salty.
I'm into it.
We got all of it. Okay, so we're going to put this guy on the stove as
Okay.
well. This is a little sauce pot. And we're going to add just a little bit of butter here, not too much. And people kind of always say, Joe, you don't need any liquid when you add the kale in there. And I'm like, no. We're going to add the kale right to that butter, just like that, and let it kind of slowly start to melt.
It's like a little slight wilt on there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then we're actually going to take some garlic and crush this up. And for me, the best way to use garlic is to smush it. I don't know if you know this, but see the plant's growing there in the garlic, so you want to remove that.
Wow, see?
If you don't remove that, people always say, oh, garlic gives me a stomachache. That's why, because this is actually a baby garlic plant, and it will, make your stomach a little upset because you're eating something that's quite green. So we're going to add some garlic to this kale. Add a little salt and pepper as well.
And how long do we really have to cook this kale? I mean, are
Honestly,
you just lightly...
for me, I'm just going to lightly wilt
Okay.
it, and it's probably going to be about 6 minutes. We're going to flip our chicken over. We have a nice sear happening here now.
All right.
Whoop. Electric stoves, totally not used to them.
Yeah. In restaurant land,
In
it's not like
restaurant land.
it's not like you go to your favorite restaurant. They
Right,
just got
right.
A 4-burner home range in
Exactly.
the back.
Exactly. So we're getting a nice sear, and I love chicken thigh meat because it's so tender.
Yeah, and
you
it's
know?
also really hard to overcook.
Really, really hard to overcook. Exactly. So to this pan, we're going to stir this up a little bit.
Okay.
You can probably start to smell There's garlic
And that
spice
peri,
happening.
I smell the peri. That is really coming out. I mean,
Yeah, it smells good, doesn't
it smells really.
Call this my magic rub.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
my
know what
magic
else.
rub,
My magic
honey.
rub. My magic peri rub. Okay, so for this, we're starting to see a little bit of color happen on the
Yep.
bottom of the kale, a little
Yep.
bit of caramelization. You're starting to get the real aromatic of
Yep.
it. You know, chef's waft. We don't like to put our face directly over
No, not a safe
a
thing
stove
to do.
because we might hurt ourselves. So we're going to add a little bit of chicken stock to that, hence the chicken.
Yep.
Correct?
Great, and that helps
And
it
that's
wilt down a
starting,
little bit.
yeah, and I don't know if you can smell that now. It's really
Yeah.
starting to come together. This actually has a 6-blend pepper spice in here. So I've got green, red, black, white peppers, and a little bit of actual allspice in here to kind of blend that a little bit.
Interesting.
Which is bringing a little bit of the fall and the holiday kind of theme to the dish. And that now you can really
Peppery
smell.
and all spicy.
And all spicy, exactly. So honestly, the maple glaze part of this is pretty easy because all it is dark maple syrup, which one of my cooks at JP gave me as a gift, like, you know, about 3 months ago. She said, you have to have this, and gave me this half-gallon jar of maple
I'm
syrup.
surprised
it's
it's
like
taking
gold.
you. I'm
you
surprised
know?
it's taking you this long to use it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually going to just add a little bit
Okay.
right now to the pan. Spread that around with my spoon, giving it a little glaze. You don't really need to do much more than that.
No, the dark is really prominent,
and
really
syrup
flavorful.
has its own, you know, acidity, its own little bit of tartness, its
Yeah.
own little bit of blend of flavors there. So, and cooking in the cast iron pan gives it a little bit of smoky and a little bit of caramelization, charcoal-y going
Yeah.
on. Okay? So we're really close. We have like another minute and a half
Okay.
almost. So normally if you're starting from raw, you're gonna rub the chicken with the spice, let that sit for about 5 minutes. You're gonna have a really hot pan, sear it. Okay, it's gonna take about 6 to 8 minutes probably to finish it, depending on the thickness of the chicken. You
Yep.
can pound it out a little bit, but you don't
Yep.
really have to with thighs. You can also finish it in the oven for a few more minutes if you feel like it's not done all the way, but
Yeah.
pretty easy pickup, pretty easy.
That
dinner.
lightly cooked chicken, not very popular,
No.
surprisingly.
Not at all. That raw chicken? No. Okay. So I'm just gonna let that go another minute or two.
All right, so real quick,
Yeah,
tell me
tell
about J-Peak. You guys got a lot. If you guys haven't been up to J-Peak, it's really out of control. I mean, I go up there, got this crazy water park,
It's
got
the
the sick
fastest
golf
growing
cars.
thing in the Northeast Kingdom
Yeah,
right now.
it's like its whole little own
Yeah,
country. But there's a
yeah.
lot of food little restaurants. You guys got a
It's
lot
fantastic. You know, being the executive chef, I actually have right now in operation 3 different a la carte restaurants. The Clubhouse Grill, which is going to have an Italian theme all winter.
Nice.
We have the Foundry restaurant, which is in the center of the resort that is next to the water park.
going on. Yeah, and that
And
menu's
that's
totally
like
changed
totally
over.
changed
Yeah.
over a little bit conceptually. You know, I thought about what Foundry workers used to eat
Yeah.
and how we can tie in the name with the whole thing, and it's working. Alice's Table is actually, you know, as much as possible 90% farm to table all year round now.
That's great.
I've moved chefs around and played a lot of chess, and we've had a great time.
Good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So I think we're ready now.
All right.
So we're looking for the pan to be almost dry, which it is. Au sec, we say in French terms.
That I've never even heard that.
Au sec,
Yeah.
which means, you know, there's less than a tablespoon of liquid in there,
Yeah.
which I found out the definition of that probably about 3 years ago. my
After
friend.
your
After my
giant check that
schooling.
you spent with
Yeah,
Nikki,
for
they were
school.
like, by the way,
You
when
know
the
what's
pan's
funny?
dry,
The
it's called
founder
OSEC.
of New England Culinary Institute, Chef Michel LeBourne's actually coming to JP to spend Christmas with me.
Nice.
And he was the one who told me that a few years ago. I said, you never told me the definition of OSEC and what it actually means. You
He's
know?
like, you know
And
now.
he's like, well, now you know. So then you can really easily, you know, just plate. And I have 2 different kind of platings going. Here's on a plain plate too. And then you can just take your maple syrup, and you can do a platter of this. You can do a portion of this,
Yeah.
whatever you want to do. And then we drizzle
'Cause
just
you can
regular
never
maple
have
syrup,
enough maple
'cause you
syrup.
can never have enough maple syrup. Ode to Vermont.
Perfect.
Yes.
That looks great. Now I'm going to have to eat it. Is
yes,
that okay?
you do. Let's move it on over here.
All right,
You're not
'cause I'm
going to burn
excited.
yourself.
Yeah, hopefully I'm not going to burn myself like last time.
There you go.
All right. There we go.
There you go.
All right. And ski season is open and going strong up there.
Yeah, we've been open for a couple weekends over on the state side. We actually have a new restaurant opening and a new hotel opening on state side. The 20th of December is the grand opening. If anybody wants to come up and say hello.
That's great. That spice is really fun.
Isn't it?
Like it's it just jumps all over the place.
Yeah, it does. It kind of coats your whole mouth, and the sweet also coats your whole mouth at the same time.
And maple leaf.
North meets south. There we have it.
That is good.
All
It's
right.
the blue and the gray dish. Well, Chef Joey, thank you very much for
Thank
coming
you,
up.
Sean.
Folks, if you have not been out to JP, go up, see Chef Joey, check out the whole property. There's just a lot going up. Have a vacation up there.
Yeah,
Spend a
come
weekend, go to
visit.
the water park,
Come
eat
visit.
lots of great food, eat this dish. And folks, we've been getting a lot of calls. Thank you so much for keeping the calls coming in. Toll-free number is 1-800-639-8303. You got a bunch more chefs, bunch more food for this holiday Maple episode. We're going to send it back to the Pledge Live. Keep tuned.